So the plan is to stop Reyes from doing whatever Bastion has told him to do, only we don't know what that is.
Exactly. Reyes' troops are deploying across the city. We have to stop them. At the same time, Reyes himself has to be taken out. And your immunity to his power makes you the logical choice for that mission.
If Reyes has used his influence power on the Purifiers and you men, the MRD are probably brainwashed too.
He played everyone.
But why?
We'll have to go ask him.
The kid, it's too bad.
You did everything you could and risked your own life in trying to save hers. It's what I'd expect from an X-Man. Easier to hear yourself think now?
Emma told you? Yeah, I'm fine. Thanks. You know that Reyes is working for Bastion. He's the real enemy here.
Of course he is. But I'm guessing Bastion needs Reyes a while longer. So we attack the weakest link. And if we're lucky, we force Bastion to show his hand.
But what is he?
He's the one who killed Professor X. And he'd do the same to all of us in a heartbeat. This will be the hardest fight you ever faced. Good luck.
I'm happy to see you, my friend. I was feeling a little outnumbered. Also, I am pleased to see you have chosen the X-Men.
Yeah, I think I understand what this uniform stands for.
For years now, I have dreamed of bringing peace to the world.
He's using his power. Don't listen to him.
I see you all as my children. But like children,
You need to be made to listen.
We need to take out the speakers so Nightcrawler will stop being crazy and turn back to normal. Now in normal mode, you could just run at the speakers and take them out easily. But here it's a good idea to get rid of Nightcrawler for a second first. Even when you do knock Nightcrawler down completely, he gets back up in a few seconds, but it's still better to knock him down first. He attacks you by teleporting in front of you, and his attacks deal a lot of damage. So running away from him is bad. Much worse than if you just face him head on.
I'm sorry. The attack on the rally. My mind was not my own. We had better split up. All right, my friend. Pick your path.
I'll see you on the other side.
Actually, no, I do believe this is the last time we see Nightcrawler. Bye, Nightcrawler. We're pretty much officially in the end game now. We only have a few more normal battles left before stuff starts to get serious. But we did just get the best offensive X-Gene possible back there, Wolverine's X-Gene. Our regular attacks deal more damage with it, and our Enders deal more damage with it. And the extra damage they deal is a lot. Our original Empower, the Ether Blades, are pretty much useless at this point, because Wolverine's X-Gene in combination with the final hit of our combo just makes it entirely obsolete. Also, you might have noticed we got an official X-Man suit for choosing the X-Men. Each character gets a different one, but they all have the same color pattern basically. In case you're wondering why we did ultimately choose the X-Men, it's because the X-Men ending is better. And it's also because I can't think of any logical reason for Adrian to choose Magneto after Magneto tried to kill him. For no reason at all. I understand they wanted you to fight Magneto regardless of what side you were going for, but that was just awful. They obviously had to fit a Wolverine boss fight in there as well, but they had a much more plausible reason for that one.
understand? But I care. Lay down your false gods. Come into my embrace.
Oh, this isn't even funny!
You are following a false god.
Emma, how many more? Emma?
I don't know.
Look, I'm gonna forgive you that one because your mind is a pile of goop, but I'm still gonna smack you back to your senses.
You're an enemy to humans and mutants alike.
Unlike Nightcrawler, Northstar can't teleport, and unless you stand perfectly still, he's kinda weak. So you can just run around and smack these without much trouble.
Get back! Gambit, are you okay?
A card-carrying X-Man stands before me. Cyclops is a good recruiting sergeant, n'est-ce pas?
Did you make your men use that vial? The synthesized mutant powers?
I let them choose. Choices, my friend, is what life is about. And I've been making some myself.
Look, Reyes has some kind of mind control power. He used it to drive Wolverine into a berserker rage.
I thought we might be dealing with a telepath. And I couldn't risk trusting Cyclops in case he was under some outside influence. So I went my own way. Seemed to be what works best for me.
What are you doing here?
Our task is simple. Hold off the MRD, or what's left of them. Those suits are controlling all their brain functions now. They're just puppets.
Let's do it.
Bien sûr. You know, I hadn't realized I'd missed this life so much.
At last, we finally get our last M-Power. It's really a doozy. It makes us invincible. And the area of effect attack it has is insane. The hurt box on this swoop is absolutely enormous. And we instantly suck up anything that comes out of the enemies we defeat with it. Now, in normal mode, this is incredibly overkill, because you don't even need to use your M-Powers. But there are a couple fights that we actually will need this final power for. There isn't much else to say about it besides it's useful. It's basically just an invincibility mode where we deal insane amounts of damage. Another plus side is that it's already so strong at its base form that there's really no reason to ever upgrade it, which is good because we're not going to have enough experience to do that. But let's talk about story stuff some more. So when we gave Gambit the vial, he just gave his men the choice to use it. So that whole thing Cyclops said about potential unforeseen consequences and how they made you think something bad was going to happen because you gave Gambit the vial, no, that was nothing. Literally the only difference is that Gambit's soldiers in this section look slightly different. Well, I guess more than slightly different, but still, that's the only difference.
A little more about what it is we're facing. He's just up ahead. He'll brief you. I should warn you, the guards are everywhere. I've stopped them from flooding into the tunnel, but I can't hold them off much longer.
Are you?
I'm fine. Emma is shielding me. So Cyclops signed you up. Good. Listen, you need to know this.
Bastion is up on the Telos satellite, isn't he?
No. Bastion is the Telos satellite. As he was dying, he uploaded his consciousness to it in the form of a virus. Took over its AI.
So we just gotta figure out a way to bring down a satellite.
That's step 2. Step 1 is to stop Reyes from opening a download link. Once that happens, Bastion will transfer himself into every mech and Prime Enforcer suit. Cut off the broadcast at the source. The transmission tower at the top of the MRD building. But you'll have to make it past all of those MRD troops. Nobody can ask you to risk your lives for a cause you only joined yesterday.
Well, I didn't know who I was yesterday. Today I do. I'm ready.
You'll have to climb up the tower on the outside. Even from here, I can tell you the inside is wired with about 1 million traps.
How many more of those speakers are there?
Don't ask. The entire city is full of rabid, frothing maniacs. Emma is keeping a lid on it as far as she can. Cyclops and Magneto are working on a plan to stop Bastion if you fail.
Thanks. I appreciate the vote of confidence.
Bastion isn't the only one with remote hacking skills.
I have the means to keep peace once and for all. Are you listening? Of course you are. Help me. Help me lead you to understanding.
I suppose this is the very last normal fight in the game, though there's nothing really spectacular about it. It's basically just all the new enemies we've seen so far, but in a much greater number. So while we smack stuff around again, let's talk more about the story. I hate to pick on this game's plot points so much, but they never really explain why we're immune to Reyes' mind control. Maybe Emma is shielding us, that could be the case, but you figure they would mention that, instead of just say, oh, you're invulnerable to it. From what Reyes has said over the speakers, it seems like he still has his idealism in him. He still wants to bring peace to the world. He just wants to do it with mind control, you know? Just innocent, pure mind control, nothing wrong with that. But assuming you find mind control to be immoral for some reason, I don't know why you would. But assuming that's the case, this is pretty bad. That being said, we still don't actually know what Bastion wants from Reyes or what Reyes wants from Bastion. We know they're working together in some regard, but it seems like Reyes has everything he could ask for already.
We meet again, Tovarich.
Good to see you.
Let's go smash some robots.
I mean, you're a little late to the party, guys. You can help if you want. But this is nothing I couldn't handle. Okay, so that bullshit that happened right there was I was about to turn invincible, and the Prime Enforcers sucked the empower out of me at the last second. But what are you gonna do? Bastion pretty much implied that he owns Reyes. I don't know if Reyes sees it that way. But he said that Reyes was conveying his orders to everyone. So Bastion must have some reason to want what all these people have been doing. Let's go over what they've been doing so far. They extracted mutant powers and then put the mutant powers in battle suits. And the battle suits have the same symbol on them as Bastion did in the intro. Oh, I see. I think I see where this is going. So yeah, I'm not going to tell you that Bastion wants to put his consciousness in the battle suits, but I'm going to heavily imply it. I'm going to heavily imply that is his motivation.
Climb, Tovarich.
Mutants, always believing they're superior to humans, yet always so predictable in their behavior.
The world craves stability and safety. I am going to prove it. Step into this lamentable civil war and bring peace. First to San Francisco, then to the whole of the Earth.
By turning everyone into brainwashed zombies? I know what you are.
I am the future.
What have you done to yourself?
I am glad that you ask. I have equipped myself with all the mutant powers sampled by the human science team. This suit administers and regulates the necessary dosages. Gives me whatever I need, whenever I need it.
You're a petty thief, and what you stole were mutant powers. Powers that belong to Charles Xavier.
He was dying in my arms. A perfect opportunity to try out the gene sampling technology.
One thing I don't get. If you were behind the attack at the rally, why didn't you leave the stage?
How often is someone accused of their own assassination? Besides, I had to see the mayor's demise through.
You could have been killed yourself.
Not a chance. If there was one thing you could count on, it was the X-Men to save the day. And it was not difficult to influence Nightcrawler to save me. It's one vote the mayor could not buy.
Do you even know who that is up there? Listen to me. When Bastion was destroyed, he was able to shunt his mind into the Tello satellite. But now he wants a new body. Everything he's given to you has been to help him accomplish that.
No. Bastion believes in me. In my cause.
You're just a tool that he used.
And yet it is me who is standing here in the invincible battlesuit. And you who kneel there, alone, about to die. Not quite alone.
And as far as dying goes, we'd like a second opinion.
You think I am afraid of you, Cyclops? Any of you? Your time came and went, and you didn't even notice. The MRD satellite over our heads controls an entire network. Once I activate the uplink, my commands will be transmitted simultaneously to every living man, woman, and child. Try stopping me then.
If Luis connects to the satellite, his influence power could affect the whole world.
Bastion will have a new body and lead an army of biomech slaves. That's been the plan all along.
The satellite, can you bring it down?
From down here on Earth? I doubt it. It's in orbit 1,000 miles above us.
Forge has been working on a power amplifier. If we can get you to him, maybe he can boost you to the point where your powers can reach that far.
What about Reyes?
Go ahead. I'm going after Reyes. I'll stop him from activating the uplink, or else I'll buy us as much time as I can.
Just don't buy it with your life.
Alright, so let's go over the whole story so far, which I think is important because most people don't realize how much effort went into it. So from the start, the MRD were claiming to be peacekeepers. And the Tello satellite in orbit above this city, that was supposed to be to keep watch over everybody and keep them safe. But it was actually so Bastion could have direct control of the city. And broadcast that interference wave that was interfering with Forge's tech in the beginning. The mass chaos caused by the MRD enabled Bastion to use the Purifier and Human Alliance to put mutant powers into the battlesuits that he wants to use to get a new body to take over the world. And, well, he wants to take over the world so he can kill all mutants. Now, the framework for this story is awesome. It's really good, and if this were a comic, I could see it being considered... well, considered a lot better than it is when it's attached to this game. Because this is a good X-Men story. It's not just a good story. It's a good story for the X-Men universe. The unfortunate thing is that the player interaction kind of messes with it a lot. Because for some reason, they wanted to say this was an ARPG, and decided to make player interaction important, even though that clearly doesn't fit with the story. The plot unfolds in a really haphazard and lazy fashion, with characters finding out about things they have no right to understand. The main criticism for this game was that it wasn't action RPG enough, that your choices didn't matter. I have another criticism entirely. Get rid of the player interaction. Make this an X-Men story through and through, the way the actual narrative wants to be, and most of your problems would disappear. I can't guarantee that people would like the gameplay, but if you didn't advertise it as an action RPG, you know, people would hate it a lot less, that's for sure. This fight starts out pretty underwhelming, but it gets really hard in just a few seconds because guys with projectiles spawn in all four corners and just start spamming shots at you, which is hell. It's a special kind of hell. It is physically possible to evade all of their shots, but it's better if you just have your final power ready, because otherwise you're probably gonna die.
Bastion just needed a new shell for his mind to inhabit, and you're wearing it.
Liar! He gave me the schematics for this battlesuit, and the uplink code for me to spread my influence over the whole world.
If you activate that link, it's the last thing you'll ever do. Help us take him down, Reyes.
You would like to keep me from my destiny. I will complete that uplink, child. Nothing will stop me. But if it's a fight you want, I will do my best to accommodate you.
Whoa. That's a lot of tin cans.
Okay, so the Sentinel fight is the hardest in the game, and I get absolutely creamed at my first attempt. So if it's okay with you, we're just going to edit to the one where I did it near flawlessly. First note, when the giant comic book letters pop up and say jump, jump instantly. Don't wait until you see the Sentinel, because he comes in way faster than you think he does. And that attack deals so much damage. These orbs are basically just to stop you from getting close to him. They're not that big a deal. They will be later. His hand blasts always aim for where you're standing when he pulls his hand out. He's only vulnerable right now, and when he slams his fist down, you can get 2 full combos in before you have to dodge out of the way. Now this is actually a pretty well designed boss, except for one attack. Just one. Everything else you can dodge reasonably well using your skill and pattern recognition. When he slams his fist down, don't be standing anywhere near it. It does release a small shockwave. So we've seen every attack he has except for one, but we'll see it after we hurt him this time. Alright, so the only attack of his I have a problem with is this next one, where he shoots a whole ton of missiles at us. They deal a lot of damage, and there's no real pattern to evading them. I find the best thing you can do is run around in a circle, but you're still going to get hit a couple times no matter what. And trying to dodge roll is a joke. Trying to dodge out of the way of the missiles just doesn't work. So he just uses those moves we've already seen in different patterns for the rest of the fight. Here's my favorite. He puts these balls down and then leans forward so you can attack him. But if you run into the balls, they explode and ow, yeah, that hurts. That's the only time those energy balls are ever deadly. But aside from that, he's pretty much done. Oh wait, I forgot about those useless eye lasers. Now he's done. So for some reason, after the music loops once, it just stops playing entirely. I can't do anything about that.
Back, mon ami.
Too late.
How can you? Magneto destroyed that satellite.
The download was already complete. I am Bastion, and I am your death.